Hey, what's up, everybody? I thought I'd give you my thoughts on last night's ending segment because obviously that's what everybody's going to be talking about and has been talking about. You know, maybe with the exception that ODB is the new Knockouts champion and Chris Sabin essentially has turned heel and starting a feud with Manic, TJ Perkins. And that also finally, hopefully, the Aces and Eights deal is coming to an end. And that test marker might have something to do with it. But that aside, besides people talking about those, they're mainly talking about that ending segment. The ending segment between AJ Styles and Dixie Carter. And from what I saw, ladies and gentlemen, I know this might be crazy to say, but that was pure gold. TNA doesn't do anything that's pure gold that much, if at all. And last night, despite how you feel, last night's ending shoot segment, worked or not, was gold. And here's why. Because AJ Styles started off by basically speaking, as a lot of people called it, the truth. He basically said that Dixie Carter essentially traded in his band of brothers, those that helped put TNA on the map, helped get people talking about Impact Wrestling and TNA. Guys like Lethal, Low-Key, Jerry Lynn. You know, the list goes on that he mentioned of other names. Like I said, Jerry Lynn, Low-Key, Jay Lethal. You know, you name it, he named P.D. Williams, another. And he's been on and off lately. Sanjay Dutt, I don't think he mentioned him, but still, he mentioned some names that were with TNA for a while since the beginning, since they started, and now were gone. And essentially, he goes, and basically he says that Dixie Carter decides to trade in all that good wrestling talent, that X Division talent that helped put TNA on the map, that got people talking about the company, for bigger names. Bigger names that, as he put it, and I quote, only came down to TNA for a 2-year paid vacation, and then afterwards went back to where they belong. Or went back to where they came from. In other words, guys like Christian, Nash, and Hall, you know, the various WWE guys that came to TNA, you know, became champions, if you will, and then all of a sudden, after it was all said and done, including that, I think this includes Booker T as well, back to WWE after it was all said and done. And that pissed him off. That pissed him off. Now, of course, the exceptions of that 2-year deal could be like Nash and Booker and all that, and them, but still, and even Christian, I believe, but still, he did speak truth. Essentially, for a short amount of time, as he put it, those guys came down, got paid more money than basically he feels they deserve, or more than those that have been with the company since the beginning, and then after it was all said and done, went back to WWE. And you know what? One can't blame him for saying that, because it's true. I remember when I tuned into TNA, there were guys that I'd seen and heard of because maybe their appearances as jobbers or their appearances as what could have been potentially, as AJ told me one time, because I did meet AJ Styles at a Central States Wrestling event, the first one he appeared at. And he told me basically that he saw potential in that Cruiserweight Tag Team division in WCW. That's how I knew who he was. I'd seen him before. I had heard about him on the internet. I had heard about other guys that showed up in TNA at the beginning. And he's right. Those guys, they're gone now. Yeah, okay, Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn came in, feuded with RVD, had a blow-off match recently this year at a one-night-only show, and now he's gone again. And RVD is another one of those guys that you could put in that 2-year paid vacation thing, as he put it. But still, basically AJ came out and flat out told the truth. Shoot or work part, either real shoot or work shoot. He came out and he told the freaking truth. He said that basically he's pissed off, and he asked if anybody else in the audience in St. Louis was pissed off, and they agreed they were pissed off. I'm sure a lot of fans watching on Spike TV would agree that they too were pissed off. Because, as he put it, TNA, and this is legit truth, everybody knows it, TNA was supposed to be the alternative for the fans, for the wrestling fans. Hold on for a second. I had to shut the door because the birds get loud. But like I said, he came out and he told the truth. Work shoot or real shoot doesn't matter. He flat out told the truth. He said that TNA is supposed to be the alternative for the wrestling, for the fans. And that didn't last long. Because as he put it, and I love how he kind of explains this. He said, yeah, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, about a year or so later, poof, as he puts it, Dixie Carter's daddy buys her a wrestling company. And states that he buys her a wrestling company even though she has never put any blood, sweat, tears, basically he puts it that her dad, Bob Carter, hands her a wrestling company. He says, here you go, Dixie, happy birthday or whatever, Merry Christmas, here's your wrestling company. He basically makes her the president, or makes her the owner or co-owner, whatever you want to call it, of TNA, even though, as AJ put it last night, she never shedded any blood, she never contributed any blood or sweat, basically stating she has no experience at all running a wrestling company, and that all she ever had was stars in her eyes, which again led into him saying was the reason why a lot of the good wrestlers that he mentioned were basically traded in for big name talent that only came in for about 2 to 4 years and then left and went back to WWE. You know, that's how he looked at it. That's how he looks at it. He even mentions the MMA guys. Well, he doesn't mention them by name, but he mentions them in the same sentence, saying, hey, you're trading in good wrestlers for big name talent and MMA guys that really don't do jack crap around here. They essentially don't do jack crap. And I love it because he, like I said, real or worked, he just shooted and told the truth. Flat out, and that was pure gold. I mean, I love how he says he's going to win the world title, not just for himself, not for those that were cast aside, and not just for the fan, but basically he says he's going to win the title for all the right reasons. Himself, those that got let go, for the fans, and then I love how he kind of closes his portion of the segment. He comes out and he says essentially, he ends it by getting on his knees. He says, tells Dixie, I'm going to make you beg and I'm going to make you pay. In other words, he's telling Dixie, I'm going to win that title and I'm going to make you beg me to stay and I'm going to make you pay to make me stay. And I think storyline or shoot wise, whatever, we know what he's getting at. He's saying, you want me to stay after I win the title? Then I'm going to make you pay by bringing back the wrestlers that you threw out and getting rid of this big name talent so that TNA can get back to its roots. Or something like that. I'm sure that's what he means by pay. That's what he means by pay. And then, of course, this does lead to Dixie coming out. This does lead to Dixie Carter coming out. And I love, whether you like Dixie or not, and whether you like Dixie or not, or whether you like her performance here tonight or not, last night or not, she did probably the best job I think anybody could say. She did probably the best job she ever could do when it comes to doing in-ring promos. I think she did the best job ever when it comes to her in-ring promos. I mean, she basically, give her credit. Someone must have coached her a little bit more on this. She goes to the ring. She acts basically tells AJ that he's right, acts apologetic, and then she says she's sorry, something, basically sorry she ever gave him the time of day or something like that. Just basically goes all heel on him, and then shoots on him saying, hey, if it weren't for me, weren't for my daddy's paycheck, weren't for this company, you wouldn't even be relevant. You'd be irrelevant. And she says all this phenomenal crap, is nothing more than a gimmick, a merchandise deal. She basically shoots on him and tells him, hey, the phenomenal one deal, all the stuff you wear, it's about money. And then she just basically goes all heel, and just like AJ, she basically tells the truth, work, shoot or not, worked or real. She tells the truth to AJ that, hey, you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be where you are if it weren't for me, my dad's check, or this company, and that your whole phenomenal gimmick is nothing more than a gimmick, is nothing more than a merchandise deal as well. So basically, after she's done doing her heelish shoot, if you will, worked or not, AJ basically says something to her at the end, and the shoot-wise as well. And then she's telling everybody, turn off his mic, turn off his mic. Well, the mic gets turned off, but so do the lights. And she basically turns off the entire show. The show ends completely in darkness. And AJ's like, you can hear him going like, oh, for real? And I'm sure any fans can interpret this and say that Dixie did not want to hear the truth anymore. No. Sorry, I had to go chase my dog off the sod. She was about to take a 2 on there. You know what I mean? But, like I said, you can interpret it any way you want, but fans, wrestling fans, if you will, internet fans, you can take it the way you want. But basically, I'm sure everybody will say that the reason Dixie had the show go off the way it did is she did not want to hear the truth anymore. And that could be true. Worked or not, she obviously did not want to hear the truth anymore that was coming out of AJ's mouth. But you know what? TNA got what they wanted out of this shoot promo, if you will, from both AJ and Dixie, because it was trending all throughout last night. It's trending today still, and it's got not just the fans talking, but it's got backstage personnel talking. It's got Hulk Hogan talking. Hulk says in 2 tweets, he says in his first tweet that Dixie better reevaluate herself with AJ, or check herself, or reevaluate her position with AJ. And then in his second tweet, he says no one backstage at Impact is happy with Dixie Carter and her attitude. Basically, they're not happy with the fact that she's coming out and claiming that if it weren't for me and this company, or mainly weren't for me, none of you would be where you are. So what does that do for Hogan? You might ask, what does Hogan claim this? Well, a lot of people are assuming that Hulk will be like the first victim of the new heelish Dixie Carter, by having maybe storyline-wise him being removed and fired, which would basically open the door for him to at least sign a Legends deal with WWE. But anyway, my impression on it, like I said, whether you agree with me or not, it's rare TNA does this, but last night's shoot promo between AJ and Dixie was pure gold. From start to finish, pure gold. I mean, you even had Mike Tenay and Taz kind of almost in a kayfabe shoot kind of way, be like, whoa, this is like, whoa, we never saw this coming. This is like, whoa, this is like, surprising. Now, what will this lead to storyline-wise? Well, it could lead to what many people are assuming, the return of Jeff Jarrett, which I'm sure a certain Schleg Daddy won't be too happy about. But then again, if it's to try to, I guess, get TNA back to its roots, if you will, it might be the best thing for them. I'm sure we're going to get more work shoot promos down the line going into Bound for Glory. I'm anticipating Dixie to come out and say, hey, look, I'm anticipating Dixie to come out and do a work shoot promo or whatever, saying, hey, I needed to sign these big name talents because nobody would even know who anybody was in TNA or even know TNA existed. I'm waiting for something like that. I'm waiting for her to say that the reason she signed big name talent and even the MMA guys is to get TNA noticed, because without the big names and the MMA guys, no one would know about TNA's existence or something like that. I'm anticipating that. I'm anticipating something like that to be done. I'm anticipating something like that to be done. I really am, folks, because that, to me, would really help get people wanting to watch Bound for Glory. Because not only would you want to watch it to see AJ possibly get the belt and sort of take that first step to restoring TNA to what it was, but leading up to it, Impact will have more viewers if they continue this. Whether you like it or not, they will have more viewers, because basically you'll be getting almost very real shoot-like environments from both sides. You'll be getting worked shoot environments from both sides, real or worked. I should say real or worked. You'll be getting that, and that's going to get people talking. Whether it's in the middle, the end, or the beginning of Impact, it's going to get people talking. So, again, it's very rare TNA does this, but what they did on last night was pure gold. It was pure gold. And you know what? I never thought I'd say this, but WWE, your storyline, it's good. But I think you need to take a little bit of a page out of TNA and say, you know what? If you want to do work shoots, you think you do work shoots, we can do one better. We can do you one better. In WWE, I think you need to take that into consideration. But to me, it was pure gold, whether you agree or not. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Comment below. And if you want to know more, go to Twitter, hashtag AJDixie. Go to Hulk Hogan's Twitter, and you'll see, just scroll down, and you'll see exactly what he's to say. So, till then, comment below, video response if you like. God bless, and take care.